From Kyrie Irving wiping his foot across a mascot's face to Rasheed Wallace constantly taking jabs at the referees, these are the NBA players that are hated the most. Starting with Kyrie Irving. You might know him as the guy who left the Cleveland Cavaliers to escape LeBron James's shadow. After a less than stellar stint in Boston, where the Celtics actually performed better without him on the court, Irving has been causing all sorts of drama. He's tried to cleanse the court with sage, which, let's be real, is just weird. Then he goes and wipes his foot across the team mascot at half court. That's just straight up disrespectful. But the drama doesn't end there. He was recently suspended by the Nets for sharing an anti-Semitic documentary. Back in 2022, he straight up ghosted the Nets for days at a time, leaving everyone scratching their heads. Don't get me started on his controversial off-court behavior. This guy has been known to promote some pretty wild conspiracy theories, like the idea that the Earth is flat. Seriously, Kyrie? But the real hate came towards him during the pandemic when he refused to get vaccinated. Kyrie ended up missing most of his team's games and became a lightning rod for controversy. But he wasn't the only one who had an attitude problem. Chris Paul had the same issue. Paul may have the skills to pay the bills on the court, but his reputation with fans is another story altogether. From the moment he crowned himself as the point god, the haters came out of the woodwork. The title seemed a little too arrogant for their taste. But the truth is, there's more to the CP3 hate than just his self-proclaimed godlike status. Many fans accuse him of being a dirty player, and they're not wrong. When it comes to throwing elbows and hip checks, Paul is a master. His moves are so subtle that you might miss them if you blink. But trust me, the guy is no stranger to sneaky physical maneuvers. In fact, he takes it to a whole new level. On offense, he's not afraid to use his forearm to create space or wrap his arms around defenders to lock them up. On defense, he's like a bull in a china shop, throwing punches and knees like he's in a bar brawl. Don't even get us started on his affinity for low blows. But the thing that really gets us is how calculated his fouls are. It's like he's playing a game of Clue, and he's always the culprit. The fouls are premeditated, and he executes them with precision. If this were a crime show, he'd be the villain you love to hate, just like Grayson Allen. This guy has managed to make even Duke fans hate him. That's saying something because we all know how intense those Duke-UNC rivalries can get. The reason for the hate is pretty clear. The guy is dirty. He's been caught tripping and antagonizing opponents on purpose, and it's like he thinks nobody can see him doing it. Newsflash, Grayson, we all see you and we're not impressed. But it's not just his on-court antics that make people dislike him, it's the way he reacts to them. Dude, you just injured someone and you're walking away like it's no big deal? Not cool. Then he has the audacity to act like he didn't do anything wrong when there are thousands of people who saw him do it. It's like he's living in a different reality or something. I'm not saying the guy isn't talented, he's in the NBA for a reason after all. But let's be real here. When was the last time you heard someone say, yeah, I really like Grayson Allen? It's just not something you hear very often. It's the complete opposite for LeBron James, whom NBA fans usually love. But the guy is actually hated by a lot of people, and honestly, it's pretty ridiculous. Sure, he's got his flaws, and the whole flopping thing is one of the first things that comes to mind. But that's not why people hate him. The real reason is because of the comparisons to Michael Jordan. It's like every time LeBron does something great, there's a whole army of fans ready to jump on social media and discredit him. I get it. People don't like change. They don't like the idea of someone coming along and threatening to topple their favorite player's legacy. But come on, LeBron has accomplished some seriously impressive things in his career. He's broken records left and right, and he's still going strong. Now, I'm not saying he's the GOAT. That's a whole other debate that we could argue about for days. But to pretend like he's not even in the conversation is just delusional. The guy is a legend, plain and simple. Yet there are still people out there who hate him just because he's good. But one thing's for sure, Draymond Green is obsessed with him. But I have to say, this guy is as controversial as pineapple on pizza. Some people love him, some people hate him, and then some people just don't care. But one thing is for sure, he's not everyone's cup of tea. Green is the kind of guy who's unapologetically himself. Back in 2010, Green was the poster boy for bad behavior. He was kicking people where the sun doesn't shine, getting suspended for accumulating technical fouls and generally causing a ruckus on the court. But now, the hate for Green has reached new heights. Why? Because he signed with Clutch Sports, a group run by Rich Paul, the super agent of LeBron James. Ever since that day, it seems like Green can't stop praising James. It's like he's gone from a rival to a guy who wants to be James's best buddy. We get it, Draymond. You're a fan. But maybe tone it down a little? Everyone misses the old green. The one who didn't give a damn about anyone else and just did his thing. The one who would start a fight with a lamppost if it looked at him funny. The one who was a rival to James, not a simp. Just like Green, Ben Simmons does whatever he wants. Philly fans have been all over him like a rash since he joined the team 3 years ago, and it's not hard to see why. The guy is a world-class basketball player, but his aversion to taking jump shots is borderline criminal. Even when he's wide open, he'd rather pass the ball to someone else.
Tapping his way in, spins on Gallinari, gives it up, oh, he was right there! And a foul as Thybulle goes to the basket.
What's up with that? Things really hit the fan in the 2021 Eastern Conference Finals when Simmons played like a scaredy cat and cost his team the win. After that debacle, the Philadelphia media and fans were baying for his blood. But instead of facing up to his shortcomings like a man, Simmons turned tail and demanded to be traded out of town. That did not go down well with the Philly faithful, who were already sharpening their pitchforks and lighting their torches. But it gets worse. At team practice, Simmons pulled out his phone and refused to participate in drills. What a way to endear yourself to your teammates, huh? Unsurprisingly, he was booted out of practice and things went from bad to worse. Simmons was eventually traded to Brooklyn, but the hate train never left the station. The same goes for Kevin Durant. This guy could start a fight in an empty room. Before he joined the Golden State Warriors, he was a loved figure, praised for his incredible scoring ability and silky smooth jump shot. But then he made the decision to leave the Oklahoma City Thunder and everything changed. It's like a switch was flipped and the love quickly turned to hate. Almost 8 years later, that hatred still hasn't faded away. But let's be real here. If someone offered you the chance to join the Warriors, would you say no? Of course not, and yet Durant gets all the hate for it. But if there's one person who really deserves the hate, it's Rasheed Wallace. Wallace is known for two things: his talent on the court and his inability to keep his mouth shut. This man has a record-breaking number of technical fouls. If there was a league for talking smack, he would be the undisputed MVP. The problem with Sheed is that he never misses an opportunity to berate the referees, and he always has an excuse for his fouls. He once claimed that he had never committed a personal foul in his entire NBA career. Yeah, right, and I'm LeBron James. Let's not forget his ridiculous facial expressions every time a foul is called on him. It's like he's trying to convey his disbelief with every muscle in his face. Then he starts running around the court like a maniac, as if that's going to change the call. Newsflash, Sheed, it's not. So from Rasheed Wallace constantly taking jabs at the referees to Kyrie Irving wiping his foot across a mascot's face, these were the most hated NBA players.